Good morning, Rebecca Vigas here from a dreary South Central Kentucky. We already have a frost warning for tonight, although I think it has to get below 37 before we can have a frost warning. Okay, today I want to talk to you about attention. It's from the book The Sound of Paper by Julia Cameron. I've been writing this little book for just over a month. In the time that I've been writing, the spring trees have filled out to a bouffant fullness. The winter's black line drawing limbs are covered with fluff. My view of the river is blocked now by my view of the trees. It is almost time to get the car and drive with the dogs cross country out of Taos, where the views stretch 100 miles across great green sage-clothed plains to purple mountains. I am eager to make the drive, eager to be where I can see distance again, and eager to look at New York from a distance, to see how it feels to look back here from out there. In other words, I am eager to connect the dots, to fill in the puzzle pieces, to keep writing. Every book I undertake is a journey, and it is a journey made specific point from a specific point to a specific point. For each of us, each and every day is also a journey. A journey begins with us at a certain point, feeling a certain way, and ends with us being somehow different and feeling how we feel about that. This is why there is never really a 0 point to be at. That's important. You're never at a 0 point. You are somewhere. Oh, who cares? We sometimes think at our most blue moments, I am boring and it is boring. And writing all about it is boring too. Times like these, we need to imagine that we are writing to someone who listens to us with rapt attention of a new lover. Someone who wants to discover all there is to know about us, all we think, all we have thought, even all we might soon think. Ooh. I believe there is such a lover with an ear cocked to all of us. That lover, that loving attention, is the great creator who does not find us dull, but endlessly interesting. Imagine that. Somebody finds us interesting. And I'm not asking who the great creator is for you. Attention is an active connection. We look from here, we look from where we are to what is all around us. In doing so, we discover where we are at. The eye that connects becomes the IEYE of the beholder. We see something, we notice it, we feel this way or that way about it. And when we feel we are at zero, we never are at zero. We are at the point of connection, the tiny vanishing point of connection where the I is born, letter I. We are perhaps the tiny dot on the I before we capitalize it and make it ourselves. It isn't easy at first getting our perceptions onto the page. We write grudgingly, under half steam, resentfully, and uphill. Who cares? And this is stupid. Are uh, are our companion thoughts. We don't want to take the time or the trouble to record how it is we felt last night sitting in a community auditorium listening to chamber music being played by gifted youngsters. We don't want to parse out the something missing was in the music, in the playing, or in ourselves. It takes an effort to be clear about things. It is easier and much sadder to be muddy, to never take the time to clarify our thoughts and connect that word again to our own perceptions. The act of paying attention is what brings us peace. In meditation, we pay attention to the breath or to the image or to the mantra. We concentrate on something, and that concentration, that stillness brings us to the point of knowing that we are all right, that God is in his heaven and all is right with the world, even if we believe in no God or no heaven. The act of connection is that powerful, that fulfilled with blessings. That is why I say, to begin with, we need to connect. It is an interesting question. I found myself and my thoughts interesting. What might I try? We ought to discover we have a novel brewing. We might discover that we have a novel brewing we have been too shy to unwrap. We might discover that we have a raft of paintings that are going unpainted, lest we be dull. We might discover that we are not putting to the page our one woman, one man show or our idea for a documentary film. If I were interesting, why, I might try any number of things. Piano lessons for the duration of my 50s, for example. Why not? Why not is the question that attention raises. I like this and I don't like that. And why not? If I am trying this and I am not trying that, why not? I could do this or I could do that, and why not? Connection brings us squarely to the issue of choice. There's a bright red post planted in the ground where we are standing. The post is our unconsciousness. We can go from here in any number of ways, any number of directions. From feeling nothing in particular, we have come to feel something very particular. From saying it's no big deal, we have come to notice the many smaller deals we have made with ourselves. Chief among them, the deal not to take ourselves and our dreams seriously, because after all, who do I think I am? That's the interesting question when we connect. Who do I think I am? Is that someone the same or different from yesterday? The same or different from my neighbor? Where am I and where do I think about that becomes something worth bothering about? The film that dulled our eyes and our vision and our image of ourselves gets clearer a swipe at a time. Every time we take pen to page, we become more ourselves. Every time you pick up this pen and you write, you become more authentic, more the person you're supposed to be. Less something vague and amorphous. We stumble onto our opinions and say, well, aren't you persnickety? But we begin to say it with interest and amusement. We are less the elderly cat sunning in the window and more the kitten with the ball of string, giving it a little bat to see where it goes. Where does this thought go? We start to chase our consciousness a little. We are rounded out of our torpor, our ennui. Life becomes a matter of some interest, and we become the interested bystanders, and then the participants. All of this happens because we connect. All of this happens one page at a time, one pen stroke at a time. Scratch. Start from scratch. Just move your pen across the page and watch what happens. Every good baker knows you don't bake a cake from a box. You start from scratch. Same with bread making, pie making, donut making, pancake making. You always start from scratch. Okay, so who do we need to look at? Whose attention do we need? Try this. Here's your prompt. Set aside an hour of writing time. You may wish to take yourself to neutral territory, a cafe, or a coffee shop. Once there, settle yourself in, order your beverage, to write and describe yourself as you would a literary character in the third person. This is tricky. You're not going to say, I am 54 years old, but you will say, she is 54 years old. Describe your own looks, your attitudes, your perceptions. Try to draw a clear portrait of yourself, filled with telling details. To raise both eyelids or just one? Hmm. Do you have laugh lines? All these little lines here, they're laugh lines. Do you have them? Or do you have crow's feet that all tend to turn down? Do you have a dimple or no? In other words, pay attention to how you are and how you are doing. Okay, describe yourself. Describe the attitude you have right at this moment that you're writing. Something ticking you off that you've got an attitude about? Write about it. What are your perceptions? How do you see yourself? It doesn't matter how others see you. It matters how you see yourself. Not your colleagues, not your coworkers, not your bosses, not your family. It's how you see yourself. Knowing this will help you create better characters because you're going to get their attitudes, their perceptions, their flaws, the great things about them. Become a literary character, your own literary character. How do you describe yourself? For me, she's 67 and a half years old. She has dark blonde hair going to white. It's thinning. She's lost the outer half of her eyebrows. Oh, yeah, they're gone. They're not there anymore. That's all I have left. She has blue eyes that sparkle when she's up to mischief. Oh, yeah. She looks like your typical retired teacher. She's anything but typical. She's always walked to a different drum beat. She finds herself alone most of the time, but not lonely. She's highly opinionated. Mhm. She is. And her biggest vice is her monthly trip to get her nails done. Everyone notices when the nails are done. What does she love about herself? It's not herself she loves, it's the things she creates. Baby hats for layettes, baby sweaters for layettes, baby blankets for layettes. And most of her former students have been recipients. She used scrap yarn and made Afghans for her daughter's gymnastics team one year. I think by the third year they were gone. The girls loved them. Gyms are not warm, especially when the athletes are practicing or having a meet. Gyms are cold. If they were warm, the athletes would get overheated. So the gyms are cold. You don't go to a meet without a jacket or a sweater and sometimes a blanket to throw over your legs. Gyms are cold. Have you read any good books lately? Anything in your genre? Anything that has stuck with you? I'm reading one by Sandra Brown right now titled Deadline. It's different. It's not what I expected. There are plot twists that outdo plot twists. And the biggest one is yet to come. So, y'all have your writing assignment. I haven't seen any questions. I'm really looking for questions, things I can help you with so that you're not struggling through writing. I don't want anybody to struggle. Not at all. I've been there, done that. Learn from my mistakes or my experience, whichever you choose to call it. Please learn. Because no one on the planet should have to go through all the crap I've gone through to get books published. Someday I'll even dig out that first book so that you can see how badly it was done. Because I had no clue what I was doing. It's Tuesday, guys. Happy writing. See you tomorrow.